So one of the big problems we have in our area is called POA, or at least people refer to it as POA. That's actually a little tricky and can be a little misleading. For those who don't know, there's a couple different types of POA that we grow in this area. As it pertains to weeds, there's two real common varieties that we deal with. One's called POA annua, which is an annual bluegrass. It traditionally grows, well, starting mid to late September, and it'll grow all the way up through, nowadays it'll grow through the end of May in some years. But bottom line, it's an annual. It goes through its whole life cycle in 1 year and dies, but it really creates some problems in that time frame. Now the other one is POA trivialis, which is a little different. In that it's not an annual, it's actually a perennial, so it stays there year round. You don't necessarily see it year round. It thrives during those cooler months of the year, but unfortunately fortunately, unfortunately, depends on how you're looking at it. We'll say mid to late June, early July, it goes semi-dormant. It kind of lays down on the ground. If there's fescue growing in or amongst it, the fescue is going to be the more dominant grass at that period in time. But it lays down, it's hard to see, and most people don't worry about it until it comes back growing during the cool weather. So, there's different ways to treat each. With POA trivialis, it is strictly considered an uncontrollable weed, and if you want to kill it, we can try to get it with a non-selective herbicide. Unfortunately, and this is where it gets unfortunate that particular weed goes dormant for the summer, we like to do renovations and kill off undesirable weeds in advance of seeding. So that's usually August, September even. Well, when we go to kill it, it's not actively growing, so we can't get an effective kill on it. And it can take many years of trying to get this stuff before you might finally eliminate it. Truth be told, the most effective time to kill it is going to be basically in the spring when it's really actively growing. Even at that, you want to spray it several times to make sure that it gets a full kill of the root system. So if you kill it in the spring, though, seeding is really not an option. If you were to patch in sod over top, you can be successful. So if you want to kill it on a small scale, if you don't have it too bad, you can kill spots and patch in sod. Or I've had some customers just literally kill the lawn in the spring and deal with dead spots for an entire year just to try to claim victory over POA trivialis. So it's a real headache. It's very, very difficult. And it is definitely an uncontrollable weed as far as we're concerned. POA annua is really the more common of the two. We deal with it in both our warm season lawns and our cool season lawns. There's different approaches for each. Bottom line, control of POA annua is built in to our warm season programs. Now, I would say that doesn't mean you're not going to see it. You're always going to see some weeds break through. But we do our best with the basic program for warm season turf to try to minimize it. To be honest, the thicker your lawn is, the better our chances are of minimizing it. So warm season, fine. It's part of the program. We're going to deal with it. If you see it coming through in warm season, there are things we can do to try to get a jump on it. But fescue is a different ball game. There's really nothing in our basic program that addresses POA annua other than that we're going to try to crowd it out by making your lawn thicker, healthier, and just more competitive. The one thing we can do that's kind of above and beyond our care program is what we call POA suppression. We use a product called ProGrass, and it's a pretty good product. It really does help to lessen the occurrence of POA, but I don't ever try to sell anybody on that being 100% either. We simply work to minimize it. But that is a product that gives us the luxury of being able to apply it regardless of whether or not you intend to do seeding. A lot of people think that, oh, well, if you've got Poa annua, just put down a pre-emergent. And yeah, a lot of pre-emergents will keep Poa annua from growing. The problem is they will also keep fescue seed from growing. You don't want to put a pre-emergent on fescue in the fall if you've got any designs on seeding. And let's face it, if you're concerned about your lawn looking nice, you need to seed your fescue in the fall. So, bottom line, Poa trivialis, uncontrollable, requires something above and beyond our care program. Poa annua, part of the program for warm season turf. If one of our clients sees it, we'll do everything in our power to eliminate it. But again, you're always going to probably see a few plants here or there. In fescue, though, it again requires something above and beyond our basic program, but there are options. Those are things that we can work to tackle. And just like getting a lawn established, the more years you do these additional treatments, the more effective they're going to be.